Get ready, it's time for Grandpa's Lab. Brought to you by the Science Academy and the Newton Institute of Technology.
I'm out in the field today, and I want to show you something. Look at this. Can you believe it? Look at the size of this. It comes from West Africa. Can you guess what it is? Guessing is called a hypothesis in science.
Can you guess what kind of bird laid this egg? If you guessed ostrich, you're right. Did you know that the ostrich in Africa will lay its eggs and another ostrich will sit on them until they hatch sometimes? Isn't that incredible? What a funny bird. Guess what kind of bird this is? If you guess kookaburra, you're right. This bird originated in Australia. This must be one of the most funny and loud birds on planet Earth. Wouldn't you agree?
Welcome, young scientist. How are you? Welcome back. In episode 2 of Grandpa's Lab, we're going to be talking about how to make a discovery. Do you remember? We talked about how to make a lab in the first episode. We're going to be discovering something about a very famous scientist called Robert Boyle, the father of modern chemistry. You remember early as we began, you made 2 discoveries yourself. One was the ostrich egg, and the other the kookaburra. That was funny, wasn't it? Well, we enjoy making observations out in the field and in the laboratory. So today, we're going to discover the scientific method. An observation. We can use our 5 senses to make an observation. I'm going to use Grandpa's face to show you some of these sensory organs that we were created with. Look at this. Let me focus it. What is that? You're right, it's a nose, and I use that for smelling. And then the eye for seeing. and then the ear for hearing, and then the tongue for tasting. Now, I'm going to pull a magnifying glass out of my pocket and let you see how I touch. Did you see all those ridges? That's how I pick things up. And there are also nerves in my fingers that help me to feel things. And some scientists say that nerves send a message to my brain 300 miles an hour. That's fast. Can you imagine? The minute we see something, we begin to record an image in our brains, and we can hold on to it, we can remember it. And that is just incredible. And now I want to show you some of the tools we use to make discoveries. In the lab, I use a microscope. Right here is the eyepiece, that's what we look in. See, there's a lens. And then we look through the lens down this tube, and there's a mirror or a prism. And then we have objectives. These objectives are lenses just like the eyepiece, and if we come in a little closer, you can see the mechanical stage. The mechanical stage is operated just like this. One goes back and forth one way, and one goes back and forth the other way. We also use a slide. When we're using a microscope, we put that on the stage. This is the stage of a microscope. And on the slide, we can put a drop of water. Let me get my pipette out. And a bottle of water. And I'm going to put a drop of water right on the slide. Then, on the slide, we can put just about anything to look at. A tiny piece of a foam pad, and I put that right on the water, and then I drop the cover slip on top of it. And the cover slip mashes it down so that we can look at it under the microscope. And so we adjust the microscope, and there we go, we can see something with it. Now, it's very interesting to use a microscope, but there are other tools as well. Now today we're going to do an experiment remembering Robert Boyle and the work that he did. I would like to share some of the safety rules that I follow in the lab, and hopefully you can follow the same rules. Number one, always ask an adult before you do an experiment. Explain that experiment to them and what you're going to do. Number two, always think before you do an experiment. Always think before you act. That way you'll be safer. Number three, always write down what you will do or test. Number four, always ask yourself, is this dangerous to me or others? Always stop if the answer is yes or maybe, and get someone to help you. Number six, always have an assistant working with you. That could be a mom and dad, an aunt or uncle, or a big sister or big brother. Someone that will seriously help you. Always wear eye and body protection that I use in chemistry. There are two tubes. One goes down to about right here in the test tube, and then the longer one you can put right down into the liquid. I'm going to put a little more vinegar in this just to show you that it does work. So I've taken my stopper off and I'm pouring a little bit of the vinegar in. I could have taken that out of our little vinegar bottle that we made up, but I'll just take it out of that bottle for now and put it behind the test tube rack. Now I'm going to put the stopper back in, and see one tube only goes down above the surface of the liquid. The other tube goes all the way down into the liquid. And the one that's real short is the one I'm going to put air pressure on. And the one that is long that goes down into the liquid will be my delivery tube. And Robert Boyle did experiments with pressure. When you put pressure in, you get volume out. The amount of pressure you put in from your mouth will be the amount of liquid you get out. And I would encourage you to do this with water and try that first. Okay, just to show you that this works, I'm going to blow on it and see it change the color. The vinegar going in turned that purple indicator to red. Now, how can you make one of these at home? If you have a bottle this size or this size, the mouth needs to be a little smaller so that we can make a clay stopper, or you can use Play-Doh. Or the mouth of your bottle can be this size. So you can find some kind of bottle. It could be a leftover plastic bottle like this with the top about that size. Okay, we'll use this one today, and we have two straws that you can use with the little flex joint in the straw that you can bend over, and we will bend these straws like this. We will blow into the green one, and the liquid will come out of the purple one. Now what we want to do is take a little piece of clay and make a stopper out of it. What we'll do is take our straws and put them in the middle . We'll pull this one when we're making the clay stopper. Remember, this is the one we will blow into. It's shorter when it goes into the bottle. And this is the one that needs to go down almost to the bottom of the bottle. And so we will put the clay around these two straws like this. Pull that green one up. You don't want to suck up any liquid into your mouth. Never drink anything that comes out of your lab. Always keep that separated. So now we have a clay ball around our two straws. Remember, the green one is the one we blow into, and the purple one is the one that's longer that goes down into the bottle that the liquid will come out of when we apply pressure. So I want to show you how that's going to fit. It will be like this. Okay, let's give it a try. I'm going to use a stopper or a pipette, and I'm going to put some water into this bottle. And let's give this a try. You can use a baby food jar for a beaker. Okay, make sure your clay stopper or Play-Doh stopper is nice and tight. And it looks like this. Now I'm going to blow into the green one, and let's see how it comes out. Just like we had planned. Okay, so our liquid's all gone in this bottle. It's empty, and it went back into the water bottle. It works. Well, these are just a few things that you can pick up and put together from the store. They're very inexpensive. Pipette and a nose bulb. Also, sometimes it's always good in the lab to have a spoon. These come in a packet for about $1, and a popsicle stick or a tongue depressor works great to mix things up. It's always good to have a few things around when you need them. Pick up a few corks or stoppers, kind of like the one that I have here, and perhaps one of your parents can drill a hole or 2 holes in the top of your cork or stopper and put some straws in that stopper. Well, that's a good experiment to learn a little bit about Robert Boyle and what he experimented with in his lab. Can you guess what this equipment is? Look at it. It's amazing. It's a really important tool. Well, I'm going to start it up. It's going to make a loud sound, but it will be okay. Look at it. Well, I sure have enjoyed being with you and doing some experiments and discovering new things with the scientific method. And I hope that you'll try some experiments on your own and make some discoveries. Remember to write things down and also be safe. Well, until we meet again, join me online at scienceacademysite.com. And until next time, have a good day, and God bless you.
Get on board and join the Science Club.
Thank you for watching Grandpa's Lab.